about changing locations and shit. Man, get into this motherfucking bag. Stand on the way I made. Sacrificing time for this shit. Man, I got a plan. Tried to tell niggas years ago. They ain't understand. Riding by myself and it's cool. I'm all in my head. Everything in life you can't replace. I build relationships. Pretty little smile make a nigga wanna lock it in. We met the same time I lost a friend. We should try again. You been on my mind. You should hop in. I ain't gon' hurt you, baby girl. You know we locked in. Used to be on FaceTime calls on the regular. Never made time, landed on my busy schedule. Now every time I hit the bay, you know I think of you. Work.
Henny the Moore reporting live from the liquor store, man. And when all three of us come together, man, it's Cowboys Uncut.
It's Goddess.
West Coast Cowboy in the middle, the Kanye West of this content stuff.
And I'm a day one type of girl. Ain't nothing wishy-washy over here. I don't jump around, stick to one side. Yeah, the silver, the blue, we got them in their feelings. That star on the field, come pay the D a visit. They say it's hatred, is it? I call it hate and simping. Cause if we wasn't that hating, they wouldn't be in our business. Listen, West Coast say the water tastes better. The fan base go harder, and all the ladies get wetter. Yeah, that's how it is when you straight reppin' for Dallas. We get it in the trap, and landlord tell us what's happening. No explanations in no shape, form, or fashion. When Henny drop the stats, ain't nothing else to be asking. Them numbers don't lie, that's why your argument dry. And we still got them rings, you got your eyes on our prize. Whether an eagle, a giant, or a commando, you in the parking lot crying, we in the Lambo, we stay in our bag, we run it up in the draft. You still talking about the 90s, so who's stuck in the past? Get off me, and I'ma need you 6 feet back. And we ain't hearing nothing till your team beat that. And we ain't scared of running. It's only one team over here, it's Cowboys. Believe it. Yeah, this you got is the poet. Big up West Coast Cowboy, HTM Sports, and Landlord from Alabama. Y'all check them boys out, man. Don't play around with the Cowboys content. Yeah, and you know it's DC. Yeah, DC4L. All day, every day.
My dear Aunt Sally, we is at the P right now. We gotta go to free agency, then we gotta go to draft, then we can talk about training camp.
And Stephen Jones, who's also a multi-millionaire, moves and feels like a what? Like a dude that is got $15 in his bank account.
We finna come marching to Dallas with our picket signs, ticket torches, everything we can find.
And we are live. What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Henny the Moore reporting live from the liquor store, man. How's everybody doing? Happy Saturday. Salute to everybody out there. I hope your week was fine, man. But now that we done with the work week, you know, the kids ain't in school, you ain't, you know, putting those hours in, we can kick back, relax, get a snack, and damn show make a run to the liquor store, man. And don't worry, man, we got gin, we got hen, and everything under the sun that can make you sin. So come on in and get drunk with your boy Hen in the liquor store, man. So yeah, we got a little bit to discuss, man. You know, my boy Lou keep talking about, hey man, winter is coming. Shit, you know, before you get to winter, man, you gotta go to fall. And you know, in fall, the tree and the leaves and everything else die. So man, it's time to get to work. Monday is OTAs for the Dallas Cowboys, man. You know, off-season training, off-season workouts, that shit starts Monday. So it is time to really roll your sleeves up and talk about what's going on with the team, man. And hey, JB Cowboys, salute to you. Hallelujah, salute to you. Cowboys home, salute to you. Jess Blaze, salute to you. He said Pickens and Lamb dogging them all out. Hey, salute to that, man. Calvin Jefferson in the building. Richard Royster said always putting in them hours even when I'm home. That's real though, man. Cause listen, this ain't like physical labor, but there's a lot of work that goes into making these videos. The research, the videos, the thumbnails we create, the graphics we design for it. Like we wear a lot of hats when we do this content, man. So you're right, it's always a full-time job. I know you still getting it in over there, man, but salute to you and what you're doing over there, brother. Hey, real ones gotta make money every day of the week, man. Real talk. He said, Big Sar said, have we signed a veteran one tech or cornerback yet? If not, the offseason move for the Cowboys have been a B plus in my opinion, and that's fair. I agree. Until they get the one tech out the way in the corner, it's still gonna be, it's still gonna be a B plus in my opinion. I'm looking for your mama, Jeffrey. I ain't looking for none of that fuck shit you got going on, man. This ain't did it, nigga. I'm looking for your mama. He said, this nigga look like a bacteria. I can't tell. I be in your mama mouth though, man. So I might be like gingivitis or some shit. If I'm a bacteria, I'm the kind of be in your mama mouth, my nigga. I'm like gingivitis or some shit if that's the case, little nigga. Salute to Jason Blossom though. I blossom all in his mama mouth. Shout out to my boy Ken Wright. He said Henny got on these 18 wheels rolling. Hey man, I know my boy out there rolling, man. Salute to you. Salute to my boy Oddball JC 704. What's up with you, man? He said Cowboys from Charlotte, North Carolina. Salute, man. So we gotta talk about it, man. We gotta talk about it. It's time for camp battles. And everybody got to go through the damn gulag. You gotta fight it out. You want to survive and get back in the game, you got to go through the gulag, man. So that's why it's titled the gulag. And we gonna do this with every single position group, man. We gonna do it with wide receiver. We gonna do it with tight end, and we damn sure gonna do it with running back. But today, right now, we're gonna focus on the wide receiver position. We're gonna talk about the wide receivers, and we're gonna move forward like that, dog. We're gonna move forward like that. So let's start with the knowns, right? Let's start with the knowns before we get too far ahead of ourselves, man. These are all the wide receivers that are fighting for something, right? Because remember, there are multiple things going on with the wide receiver room. You got guys fighting for the wide receiver 3 spot. You got guys fighting to even make the roster. So when we talk about the wide receiver battles, right, when we talk about the wide receiver battles, it's more than one that's actually going on right now. Because we know there's the battle for wide receiver 3, and we also know there's the battle for the final roster spot on the Dallas Cowboys for the 6th wide receiver. So all the guys that are playing for something or have something to prove going into this offseason. We got Jalen Tolbert, Jonathan Mingo, Cavante Turpin, Paris Campbell, Jalen Brooks, Ryan Flournoy. Then you got the guys that are career practice squad guys for you. They're trying to turn the corner in Jalen Cropper and Kelvin Harmon. Then you got this year's undrafted free agents in Trayshawn Holden and Josh Kelly. And listen, I didn't include CeeDee Lamb or George Pickens. So when we talk about wide receivers that actually got something to play for and fight for, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 wide receivers on your roster that have something to prove, something to play for, a roster spot to fight for, a job to fight for. So it's a very intriguing competition going into the offseason. And I believe it should start in OTAs. Everybody is here. Everybody is healthy. Everybody can compete. So let's talk about who actually got roster spots locked the fuck up, right? We know who's going to make the team, but we don't know in what capacity. CeeDee Lamb, all-pro, all-world wide receiver, one of the best in the business. Even off of a down year, coming off 1,100 yards, 88 is one of the best in the league. He's going to make the roster, of course, right? Like, this is all common sense shit. You just traded a 3rd round pick for George Pickens. There is no tryout. You watch this tape over there with Pittsburgh. You know he's going to make the team, right? He's going to make the team. Cavante Turpin is your return guy. By default, right? By default, he's going to make the roster. He does kick return, he does punt return, and he also moonlights playing wide receiver for you from time to time. Jalen Tolbert is going to make the team. He's in the final year of a prove-it year. He's on the final year of his rookie contract. The Dallas Cowboys have no idea, right, what the hell they're going to do with him. They don't know if they want to give him a contract or not. And then Jonathan Mingo. They traded a 4th round pick for him. They have not yet got an opportunity to see him play with Dak Prescott, so he'll be on the roster, man. Like everybody on this list right here has either been paid by the Dallas Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb and Kevontae Turpin, or they've been traded for. Like George Pickens was traded for, John Domingo was traded for, and then you drafted Jalen Tolbert with a top 100 pick. So the common sense things to say, all 4 of these guys are going to make the damn roster. We ain't got to pretend. We ain't got to play. So these are 5 wide receivers that are guaranteed to make the roster. Now, under what capacity is a different story. Shout out to my boy JC Cowboys Network, man. Salute to you, man. And we ain't did a show in a minute, man. We're gonna have to get back to doing some content together, my brother. Salute to you, and thank you for sliding in and showing love, my boy. I appreciate you. My boy JV. Oh, also, if you want to help keep the lights on, or if you want to help get us out there to DC for the draft, not this year, but next year, everything you're seeing in between now and then will go to that fund to get Cowboys convos out there to DC, man. So if you got love for your boy Henny, hit the Cash App. It's $ Henny the more, or since we back monetized, you can hit the super chats or the super stickers. Thank you in advance, and I appreciate all y'all for always supporting your boy. So yeah, man, you can lock these 5 in. By hook or crook, these 5 wide receivers will make the rosters. But under what capacity when it comes to guys like Turpin, Tolbert, and Mingo, that's what the roster battle is for. That's what the roster battle is for. So in my honest opinion, these are the 3 wide receivers that have the most viability in probably playing their way into the wide receiver 3 spot. Jalen Tolbert, Jonathan Mingo, and Kevontae Turpin. So these are the guys that have the best opportunity to meet. Right? Some of y'all believe Ryan Flournoy can jump up there and overtake all them boys. Right? Some of y'all believe that to be true. It's possible. Strange things that happen between heaven and earth. I'm not saying it can't happen, but we're talking about the odds. If we're talking about the odds of something happen, I think the odds are in the favor of Tolbert, Mingo, and Turpin. Right? I think those are the guys with the best odds right now. And really, if we just go by a case-to-case basis, first I'll leave with the nice stuff for him. When you talk about my boy Jalen Tolbert, shout out to Jalen Tolbert, friend of the show, was nice to come on here and give us a very classic interview. Still up on the page, you want to check it out. But if you talk about Jalen Tolbert and why he would possibly have a leg up in the position in the competition right now, the 2 key words are production and experience. And listen, I understand that Jalen Tolbert has not lived up to the hype. He has not necessarily done the things that a top 100 pick. When you think about getting a top 100 pick in the National Football League, you sort of expect more production from them over time. So while he doesn't have Pro Bowl caliber numbers, All Pro caliber numbers, clear-cut wide receiver 2 numbers, he has made enough plays and scored enough touchdowns to where he is a realistic, viable option to play wide receiver 3. Because in the role of wide receiver 2, he was able to lead you in touchdown receptions. Now, I know CeeDee Lamb got injured. I understand we weren't really playing for much. I understand all those factors, right? All that still got to come into consideration. But he did do it by hook or crook. He did lead your team, in touchdown receptions. He did have a career high in receiving yards this year, right? So when you look at Jalen Tolbert by the numbers, and you talk about his stats from last year, let me pull it up real quick so I can give it to you. He had 610 receiving yards, 49 receptions, and 7 touchdowns, right? So it's not all world numbers by any stretch of the imagination. But if he gave that to you in a reduced role, going up against lesser tier wide receivers, right? And you still were getting the production from CeeDee Lamb, and you were still getting the production from George Pickens that you're expecting, right? You expect George Pickens to get close to 1,000. Like, I think the over for Pickens is 950. If you expect him to get that close to it or over that, CeeDee Lamb still be CeeDee Lamb and get his numbers, then 6'10" and 7 touchdowns from Jalen Tolbert is a win. That's huge. And also when you talk about experience with Jalen Tolbert, like in comparison to Jonathan Mingo, right, he's had more opportunities. He's played more football. He's been in the league slightly longer, and because he's played longer, he also has a better rapport with Dak Prescott right now. He said, "Hey, Henny in my coffee is kind of a lit name for a morning show." Hey, I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna plagiarize that and run with it. So shout out to my boy for bringing that name up. Cause I think Cuz had dropped it on the last show. But yeah, I think we're gonna. Hey Joshua, I think we're gonna run with Henny in my coffee. So yeah, you ain't lied about that though. You ain't lied about that. He said playing scheme for sure hasn't helped him whatsoever, especially year one with Kellen Moore. Like, Kellen Moore did not have a good track record with rookie wide receivers. Jalen Tolbert struggled mightily. Quentin Johnston struggled mightily. So it wasn't just like one occurrence. Like, Kellen Moore didn't have a lot of success with rookie wide receivers starting off. Surprisingly so, but it is what it is. Right? So when you talk about experience, you talk about production, you can make the argument that Jalen Tolbert has the inside track to that. But we also know that they are very high on Jonathan Mingo. And it stands to reason that Jonathan Mingo, who was a former second-round pick, playing with the best quarterback that he's ever played with before in his life, might be able to get in here and make some noise in regards to the wide receiver 3 position. Right? In regards to that wide receiver 3 position, he might be able to go out here and make some plays for you because the potential is there. Like, he was one of the better wide receivers coming out of the SEC when he was drafted. I know Landlord had did the leg work. He went out there. I forget what it was, but he went out there during the drafting process, and a lot of the folks were very high on Jonathan Mingo because he got the size, he got the athleticism, the catch radius. He runs a sub 4.4. He runs like a 4.45 or 4.46. So he has the prototypical size. He has the prototypical speed, the athleticism, the frame. The only thing that Jonathan Mingo does not actually have right now when we're talking about a wide receiver is the actual production. Like, he's never had a touchdown catch in the National Football League. So, that's why, when you speak on him and you think about him, he's one of the people where, he's a fascinating prospect, but we don't know if he'll ever actually pan out. You know what I mean? Because I think he has some talent. It's just, eventually that talent has to show through. Eventually you have to do something, to show that you belong in the National Football League. You have to do something eventually. So, and listen, there were times when you bring up Jonathan Mingo's film from last season. There were times where he had beat his defender. He beat his corner, but the ball was ill-timed. They didn't throw him the ball at all. Like, there were really issues, outside of his own play that really prevented him from having more yards, having more touchdowns, and things along of that nature. So in a wide receiver 3 role, where he's able to play to his strengths, he can go against lesser talent. Pretty much some of the same arguments that you had with Jalen Tolbert. I think it paid dividends. It paid dividends to have him out there, right? It paid dividends for this to be an open. Because listen, what I don't really want over the course of this process, I don't want any favorites, right? I don't want any favorites. Just because one person might know Dak Prescott and hang out with him more, I don't want them to have the inside track. Just because one person has more years on their contract, I don't want them to have the inside track. Because remember, people, I will say this. In an ideal world for the front office in the Dallas Cowboys, right? He said, Henny, you were ready to throw him off the roof a month ago. What's good? Yeah, as a wide receiver, too. As a wide receiver, too, where I have to depend on you week in and week out, hell no, I don't want John Domingo as my wide receiver, too. But wide receiver 3, we can have a real conversation about wide receiver 3, and that's really the same thing with everybody else on the team. I wouldn't dare want Jalen Tolbert as a wide receiver 2, but I wouldn't mind having him and his skill set as a wide receiver 3. I would not sleep well at night if Cavante Turpin was my wide receiver 2. But you can make a real argument about Cavante Turpin at wide receiver 3. Like, there's levels to this shit. There's levels to it. You know, just cause I'll let you wash my car don't mean I want you to rebuild my engine. Like, some shit needs more. You know what I'm saying? Some shit needs more than what you can actually give me. The nigga I trust to wash my car is not the nigga I trust to rebuild my engine or reconstruct my transmission. None of that. You know, like, some folks have skills that they're good at and I can trust them at. Them playing wide receiver 2 is not one of them. But shout out to my boy Asiatic Pain, man. Like, that is a very good question. That is very good. Like, why am I so more open to them as wide receiver 3? Because it's an easier job, and I think they can do it. It's an easier job, and I think they can do it. Yes, I do believe we carry 6 wide receivers. I do think we carry 6 wide receivers. Now, to the next guy that's in, you know, regards to the wide receiver 3 position. And a lot of folks like Turp ain't got no real shot at wide receiver 3. Who says? Are we having a real open competition or not? Are we having a real open competition or not? Because last time I checked, this is your fastest wide receiver. By the metrics, he's actually one of the fastest players in the NFL. He clocked the fastest time of any player in the National Football League last year. When you talk about miles per hour, right? So he's the fastest guy in the NFL by GPS tracking. He has versatility. Like, he's an explosive weapon. He can take the top off a defense. You can throw him the football. You can hand him the football. You can pitch it to him. You can use him in motion. Like, there is a litany of ways that you can integrate and use Cavante Turpin if he's on the field at all times. Right? So he's a guy that's always a potential home run threat, regardless of how you utilize him. So I think, you know, you should consider having Cavante Turpin in the running to be wide receiver 3. I'm not saying give him shit. This the Gulag. You got to fight to survive and get back in the game. Right? This the Gulag. Folks gonna get their head blown off. Folks gonna get kneecapped. You know, folks ain't gonna make the team. Turk gonna make it. But point being, if we're having an open competition for wide receiver 3, why not throw Cavante Turpin's name into the mix? Why not throw his name into the mix and allow him to go out there and hoop? Hey, shout out to West Coast Cowboy in the building too, man. I see you, cuzzy. Thank you for showing love to the podcast, man. So yeah, man, like, I think you should allow them to. You should allow them to fight it out if you're having open competition. Right? And he got paid. Fastest man in the league. Versatility. As a wide receiver 3, there is some shit you can do with him. Because I know a lot of people like, hey, man, why not just use him as a weapon and a gadget guy? Because of this one reason. If he only comes into the game for trick plays and spot work duty, you sort of tilt your hand into what you're doing. If Cavante Turpin never actually leaves the football field, you always have to account for him. So some of the things that you want to do with him, you can get away with a little bit easier. If you want to motion him from a bunch stack into the backfield and pitch him the football, you know, you're not really their antenna's not really up when that happens because he's always on the field, right? If you want to, you want to send him deep, they gotta always account for that because he's always on the field. So, just the more he's on the field, the more they actually gotta account for him. If he never leaves the field, you're never really tilting your hand. He's always a threat at that point that you have to account for. So that was Cavante Turpin in regards to that. Y'all, make sure y'all hit that like button for your boy. Make sure you hit that share button for your boy. Make sure you slap the dog shit out of an Eagles fan, man. We in the liquor store rocking out right now, man. Make sure y'all hit those cash apps too, man. If you appreciate the content, make sure you hit that cash app. Make sure y'all hit that super chat, man. We back monetized. We beat the Rico. We ain't have to snitch on nobody, man. But another thing real quick. I know I've been very hard on Jalen Tolbert. I know I've been very hard on Jalen Tolbert up to this point. But there's a reason to believe, that him or Mingo or one of these other wide receivers can see a big produce in their production playing in the Brian Schottenheimer system. Because remember, Tyler Lockett is a good wide receiver now, but he really wasn't hitting on shit the first 3 years of his career. So from 2015 to 2017, he played for the Seattle Seahawks. And this is before Brian Schottenheimer's tenure there, as the play caller. So he had Russell Wilson, all the other good stuff. So it's not like a quarterback changed anything. He was still there playing with Russ. But when he got with Brian Schottenheimer, he turned them up. So rookie year, 664 yards and 6 touchdowns, 51 catches. Sophomore year, 597 yards, only 1 touchdown. 555 years, his third year, only 2 touchdowns, right? The Brian Schottenheimer effect, using play action, using motion, integrating him into more vertical routes. His first year with Brian Schottenheimer, he had career highs at that point in receiving yards, in receptions, in yards per catch, and he set a career high in receiving touchdowns. So he went from a 555-yard guy before Brian Schottenheimer to a 965-yard guy and a 10-touchdown guy that averaged damn near 17 yards a catch, playing within the frameworks of Brian Schottenheimer's power run, play action, shot play system. And then he went on after that to have another career high in receptions, 82, 1,057 yards and 8 touchdowns, which is still damn near more than all the touchdowns he had combined his first 3 years. And then he set a career high that is still held to this day with 100 catches, 1,054 yards, and he went back and he matched his career high in receiving touchdowns with 10 yet again. So his 3 years with Brian Schottenheimer, he went over 3,000 yards and damn near went for 30 touchdowns in a 3-year span after barely cracking the 1,700-yard mark without on the first 3 years. Shout out to Cowboy Tone with the $2 super chat, man. I appreciate you. And Wes, I see your comment. I'm finna see you the link, man. Give me a second to get it pulled up on my phone so I can send it to you. And I was talking to my good people while I'm getting it pulled up, man. But salute to y'all. Yeah, I see you trying to get in. I'm finna send him the link. But yeah, so that's why you might have a little bit of hope for some of these other guys. Cause before Brian Schottenheimer, right, the production just was not there for Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett has blossomed into a wide receiver that's still in the league to this day. He just signed a contract to play with the Tennessee Titans. Just signed a contract to play with the Tennessee Titans. Hold on, there you go. Hey, it's gonna be on your phone, Wes. It's gonna be on your phone. I'm texting it to you right the fuck now. So the link is in your phone, man. So you can click it on and come on for a second, my brother. Said 30 of you miss hitting the like button. Get to that like button, good people. Yeah, salute to y'all good people for the love and support, man. I appreciate y'all. Oh yeah. And listen, he said the only drawback, and he was talking about Turk. Yep, because you ain't gonna win in no jump ball situations. But that's what you got George Pickens for. Oh, that's Wes right there. What's up, cuz?
What's up with you, man?
Man, now shit, man. What time is it on that side of the world over there, man?
7:30, man. Getting these kids up for picture day.
Oh, that's what's up, man. You see, Wes got love for y'all, man. It's not even 8 o'clock where he at, man. He up here trying to do some content, man. That's a working man right there.
You know how age, man. If we up, we up.
I know that's right, man. So, hey, you know the vibes in here, man. I ain't gotta recap nothing. What are your thoughts about the wide receiver competition going into OTAs? You know, OTAs start Monday. So, what are your thoughts about the wide receiver competition for the back end of the wide receiver room? You there, cuzzy? So while Cuz get his sound and everything together, you know, we'll get back to what we were talking about with the uptick in production playing the Schottenheimer system. And really, dog, when you think about it, George Pickens, not even Cavante Turpin, but George Pickens could probably play the Tyler Lockett role. Right, because Tyler Lockett was a guy that they sent on deeper routes. Tyler Lockett was a chunk play guy for them. When Shotty first got there. Well, hey, can you hear us, Wes?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you good now, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Okay, there we go. Now, what were you asking me?
Yeah, I was asking you about the wide receiver competition, man. Because we know who's making the team, but we really don't know who's going to win wide receiver 3, and we don't know who's going to get that final roster spot. You got any guys you're betting on, if you're a betting man, to get that wide receiver 3 spot?
I mean, if I was a betting man, I would say that it would go to Cavante Turpin. And the reason why I said Cavante Turpin is because the money that he's getting paid, and the money that he's getting paid is warranting him to get opportunities more than just in the special teams. And since he is a wide receiver, that's where that's definitely where I would slate him at. And to be honest with you, at this point of his career, Cavante Turpin needs to be a wide receiver 3, because if not, man, unless he gonna really be taking kickoff returns to the crib like almost every other week, man, Jerry ain't gonna be paying that money for just that, man. Like, you got to do a little bit more. And I feel like at his point of his career, he wants to be looked at as more. You know what I'm saying? So I would think Cavante Turpin, if in my opinion, he should have felt some type of way when they brought in the boy from Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? He should have felt some type of way right then. But the cool thing about it is, in 2025, the third receiver is on the field dang near 50% of the offensive snaps. So he's still gonna get a healthy rotation. But with the money that he's making, he has to be the Cowboys' number 3 wide receiver. And if you look at his body and his build from the Randall Cobbs and all the other guys that we have had play wide receiver 3 for us, Brandon Cooks, he meets those body. He looks like all those other guys. Those guys were small, shifty dudes, and that's what he is. And that's what you really want at your slot. You know what I'm saying? So, he can split them safeties, run them off, and then their CeeDee Lamb can work underwards.
Yeah, because this is my thing. I agree with you completely with that. The money paid, because really the Dallas Cowboys got a lot of. The thing will make it so hard to really pinpoint is they got a lot of damn pans in the oven, so to speak, because you pay Cavante Turpin nice money. Like, you paid him like $6 million a year, right? Like if I'm not mistaken, $6 million a year. I
Yep.
think the totality of that deal. You spent a
It
fourth
was like
round pick.
$6.5 million.
Yeah, you spent a fourth round pick on Jonathan Mingo, and then you got your top 100 pick Jalen Tolbert going to a contract year. So I really don't know which one of those horses they betting on the most when you think about it, because do they want to make themselves right about drafting Tolbert? Do they want to make themselves right about trading for Jonathan Mingo, or do they want to make themselves right for giving Cavante Turpin the contract? So I really believe it might be an open competition, because I don't really know which way they hedging their bets on it. Because usually you can just follow the money, but we also know how they act about their damn draft picks. They real weird about them.
Then they give away a 4th-round pick for a quarterback that doesn't even play. And then Jonathan Mingo, as of right now, that was a waste of a 4th-round pick too. So,
Yeah, if he don't
Cowboys.
win, damn sure is.
I mean, that's the thing that sucks about having a family-owned business is when you have a family-owned business.
Well, West Sound went out, but shout out to Damone with the Cash App, man, for the late stream. Had to slap 3 Eagles today. Hey, man, don't ever apologize for having to slap Eagles. Yeah, you back now, Ken folks. I just giving a shout out to Damone for the Cash App, man. He extra trill. I appreciate you.
Yeah, but I was gonna say that's the disadvantage of having a family-owned business. When you have a family-owned,
all right, Wes, your sound went out again, but we good. We gonna keep cooking until you get back in here, man. But I think what he's saying is the downside.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
I know what it is. It's my phone. When it turns off, it does that.
No, you Gucci, man.
All right. So what I was saying is, that's the thing that sucks about, when you are dealing with a family-owned business. When you're dealing with a family-owned business, you can have the ability to have egos involved, because you have individuals. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily people who are qualified for the job, but people who got the job because they're in the family. You know what I'm saying? So when you have those situations, you have to know that there's going to be human error. You know what I'm saying? So just like with Trey Lance, I think Trey Lance was just human error. It was just human error. You know what I'm saying? But had this would have been a franchise that's run by a business, they would have evaluated that situation better. Or even as a business, you would have been like, yo, we got to at least play this kid in a meaningless season so we could at least get a return on our investment. Like, there was no reason why he didn't play last year. You know what I'm saying? So, because of that, you're always going to have little oddball situations with the Cowboys, where it's like literally the draft picks matter so much that they don't want to give them up, but then they just throw 4th-round picks away for just nothing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's an oxymoron at this point. Do they matter or do they not?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they act like they matter, but then and they be doing all this stuff to get these compensatory picks, but then they give away a real 4th-round pick that you actually earned for a play that don't make no sense. And then the cool thing about the game is you didn't even play him. Like, so you didn't even, like, I could have seen if you would have played the kid and he sucked. You know what I'm saying? But what's worse than playing the kid and he sucked? To not play him at all. You know what I'm saying? What's worse than striking out, not swinging?
Yeah, because listen, he's still a backup quarterback in the National Football League. He's the backup quarterback for the I always want to say San Diego, but it's the Los Angeles Chargers now. But so he's still in the league doing the same job that you traded him for. You could have just gave him a contract, and if you had just gave him the same kind of contract that the Chargers gave him, which is not a lot of money at all, you would not have had to trade away a pick to go get Joe Milton. Right? You could have still went out there and use that pick on another position, because now basically you allocated 2 of your picks to the quarterback position. The 4th-round pick you traded for Trey Lance, and then the 5th-round pick you traded away to get Joe Milton into the building. Well, you could have used some of those assets elsewhere.
Facts. And guess what? And guess what? The cool thing about the game is about as much about both of them.
Exactly.
Nothing.
You saw Joe Milton against the Buffalo Bills backup players. He played well, but you played up against the 3rd string, and you've seen Trey Lance play in the season finale. So you've seen just about the same amount of them in recent history. Not much shit. Some throws and some meaningless games. And the cold thing about it is you could have developed Trey Lance and organically tanked West. We would not have been sitting here arguing about should we have took Tyler Booker or traded up. We would have been picking in the top 10 if we let Trey Lance play the whole season.
Yeah, man. I mean, the cool thing about it is though, what the Cowboys like to do is Jerry likes to get a 1 for 2 or a 2 for 1. I mean, he likes to get a 2. Hold up. Jerry likes to get a 2 for 1, where he likes to do one thing and get 2 results. Well, if you think about it, he made one hell of a competitive wide receiver room because he got one dude on a 1 year. He got one dude going into a contract where he got Jalen Tober, where he got a ball. You got Kevontae Turpin on a deal which is basically a bunch of 1 year deals stacked on top of each other. So he got a ball. Then you got Mingo, who you traded for on a 4th round pick, and he got to get paid. He want to go somewhere. He want to be in the league. He got a ball. So I mean, if anything, the Cowboys did create a really, really competitive environment when a bunch of guys who shouldn't feel like they can just go out there and just do it, would be willy-nilly with it. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have to actually bring it. You know what I'm saying? Or your ass ain't going to be here next year. Your ass might not be here this year.
Facts. So let's go through some of these names real quick together. I think I flashed it before, but I'm not going to show George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. We know that they were going to be wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 in this offense. We ain't got to play about it. Everybody else on this list is either playing for the wide receiver 3 spot or a roster spot in general, right? And let's start at the bottom and work our way up. Because I already went down. You talk about somebody like Josh Kelly, coming out of Texas Tech, was a 1,000-yard receiver, but the athleticism is not there. I really don't know how he makes the team because I don't know if he could play special teams. Right? If we're carrying 6 wide receivers, somebody else besides Kevontae Turpin has to have special team ability. And I don't believe it's Josh Kelly. I think he'll be a dope-ass slot wide receiver eventually, but he might have to make the practice squad. But I don't really see how you carry Josh Kelly and he brings nothing to you as a 6 wide receiver in special teams. Do you agree with that? Like, you have to have some kind of special team ability if you're going to be the 6 wide receiver.
Yeah, and not only that you need to have special teams ability, your ass might need to play some defense too. Because, bro, listen to me. There's going to be 50,000 young receivers released. You know what I'm saying? Receivers probably like the most because every team has to carry so many. Mm-hmm. So it's like at this point, you really got to be able to do more than just one thing. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not saying he got to play defense, but he need to bring more to. He has to be able to play special teams, and I think the cool thing about the special games is we brought back CJ Goodwin, right?
Yep.
Well, there you go. That's crazy because think about this. There's a young player that's not able to make this team every year. Why? Because the Cowboys re-signed CJ Goodwin to run down the street and tackle somebody. Like, them young dudes can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, one day we'll have somebody up into. Now we talk about
think about this because CJ Goodwin don't play wide receiver.
CJ Goodwin don't play defense.
He don't even play defense. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so the Cowboys could technically replace him, let one of these young receivers run down the field, and then guess what? You get to keep a receiver. But instead, the Cowboys have a priority gunner. I ain't never heard before that in my life.
Now, listen, if you just talk about somebody to run down the field and blow you up with aggression, Trayshawn Holden might be able to do that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So that's what when people looking at me like, what do you mean he got to play defense? That's what I mean. If he can play defense, if he can run down the field and tackle somebody, and why isn't he more valuable than CJ Goodwin? Because he can play wide receiver too. You know what I'm saying? And that gives you the opportunity to carry more wide receivers.
Listen,
But right now, the only thing you're getting from CJ Goodwin is him running down the field. And if he doesn't run down the field and make a tackle, then guess what, Brett? You know what I'm saying? And then think about this too. You also have you also have a long snapper too, who's taking up but you have to have a long snapper on your team, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, the Cowboys have a bunch of extra positions that teams don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody in the league has a priority gunner.
hey, I feel that. And hey, my boy Drell said CJ know where the bodies are at this point.
Yeah, CJ Goodwin is my age, bro. Like, how is he still in the league?
My age is crazy.
Like, and I'm not hating on nobody, but I'd be so mad, bro, because you know how many times free agency started and CJ Goodwin was the first person they signed? Like, bro, are you kidding me? You mean to tell me the Cowboys looked at the entire past year and said the first thing they needed to do when free agency started was sign CJ Goodwin? And I'm not even hating on him, man. CJ, if they want to keep signing you, keep running, man. I am not hating on you, CJ. But all I'm saying is, I feel like a team that's more hip to in times would say, why would we want a guy who's only on special teams? And think about this, outside of the long snapper, he is the only dude that's only on all. Everybody else is, you know what I'm saying, play a part that he's the only guy that's on. That makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? You replace him, even if you replace him with a cornerback. I'll settle for replacing him with a guy that's gonna play corner. Because you might be in that corner.
Yeah, somebody that can actually get on the field, I can agree with that.
But no, not just CJ Goodwin just running down the field. No, you don't get a whole roster position to just do that. No.
So, hey, then we might want to campaign for Trayshawn Holden because he's not he is like a for sure prototypical X wide receiver. He's about 6'2", big body guy, ran a 4.57. So he's like your prototypical outside guy. But he did score a bunch of touchdowns over there at Oregon. He got some good hands. He's a fiery competitor. Like, he's a lot of things. He's just not polished. And because of his reputation being so shit, he might be somebody that they'll put in a position like that, and he had to earn his stripes if he was to make the team. Because the only reason he's here is because his old wide receiver coach is on the Dallas Cowboys. You could tell by the guaranteed money. This man ain't got a lick of guaranteed money. Matter of fact, this nigga got $3,000 guaranteed, dog. He got 3 bands guaranteed on his contract, and that is it. But remember, this is the guy that got kicked off the team. He spit on the boy from Ohio on a nationally televised game and got kicked out the game. So he has like a bad reputation, but I don't think he's a bad kid. It's like he got some maturity issues. I'll say that. But he got a sponsor in the building. So
no, he a bad kid. We just hoping he can be a better kid. He a bad kid.
Damn. Oh, shit.
No, he definitely.
Oh man, hey, that remind me of when I was talking to landlord, cause I was telling him about people up in arms. Jim Brown had died, and then there were women out there protesting Jim Brown, and he like, damn, what Jim Brown do? I said, oh man, he ain't did nothing. He just threw a girl. He just threw a woman out the window. He said, hold on, Hen. What you mean he just threw a woman out the window? You can't just sidestep that.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Nah, bro, he a bad kid, bro. He out here spitting on folks. Come on, bro. No, nigga, he's a bad kid for sure. We just want to hope that he can be a good adult though. And he's an adult now. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he can be a better adult. But you out here spitting on folks, bro. Come on, man. What's wrong with you, man?
On national television in one of the most important games of the season against your divisional rival.
Man, you spit on me. I'm trying to kill you, bro.
Boy, that's the most disrespectful thing you can do to another man.
My mama said that you shouldn't hit nobody if they say anything to them, but if they spit on you, you spit there.
Oh, my mama.
My mama a good Christian woman. I ain't gonna lie on her name. I let my wife looking at me right now saying your mama didn't say that word, but she didn't say that word, but she said it like that. She did say it like that. You can say whatever you want to say about me, but if you spit on me, I'm whooping you. That's for sure.
bet that if you ever go to Chicago, you must try Little Villa Pizza Company, best pizza on the planet. I'll keep that in mind, man. I'll keep that in mind, brother.
What would you asking me?
Oh no, I was just reading a comment. Hey Wes, I gotta ask you a question though. Jalen Cropper and Kelvin Harmon are people that I think you should have like a shelf life for being on the practice squad. I think you should only be allowed to be able to be on somebody's practice squad for like 2 years at minimum, and then you got to get your ass out of Dodge. There should be a rule that you either gotta, shit or get out the pot. Cause I don't understand why you're still here on my team collecting dust, and you ain't grown as a player. You ain't grown to the point I can even put you on the active roster. Like, both these guys have been in the league like 2-3 years more than Trayshawn Holden and Josh Kelly. There should be absolutely no reason that they should not be able to beat these kids out. And I got a sinking suspicion that neither one of them are going to beat out are going to beat these guys out. So, what do you think? Do you think there should be a shelf life on practice squad? Because it gets to a point, man, where you gotta develop eventually. You just can't hire folks on the practice squad and they give you nothing in return.
Well, it's kind of a tricky situation because they let veterans now be on the practice squad too. So it's like, I think because of the COVID thing, they just. I'm gonna be honest with you, they just need to add more roster spots, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? They so badly don't want to add roster spots because they don't want to pay them they don't want to pay them game checks. You know what I'm saying? But they need to just add more roster spots, bro. Just let a team carry more than 53 people. Like, let them
60 would be cool, really.
60 niggas, that's low. That's old. I don't know if we need 60 now. But
there's only 7 more.
That's a lot, though. That's a lot. 7 extra people. That's a lot. I mean, I was only thinking about like 2. Like, and listen to me. One position you don't even have to designate. Like guaranteed positions, like place, like kick, like placehold. The long snapper. The long snapper shouldn't count against your roster. Your kicker shouldn't count against your roster. You know what I'm saying? Like you could just exclude those 2 positions and then you automatically get 2 roster positions. You know what I mean? They already made just make them exempt like the third quarterback because bro, you have to have a kick, bro. You have to have a kicker and you have to have a long snapper, but they don't do anything other than that. Like, these niggas barely wear helmets, bro. This nigga got a goddamn mini helmet with a goddamn for sale sign and a sales bar across the middle of it. If this nigga get hit, he's dying on the field. Like bro, who has the best vision on the field? The kicker do. Why? Because the nigga ain't got no damn helmet on.
You see everything.
He got one of them little tink helmets. Now, if your son got one of them little tink helmets, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. But I'm just saying, one of them helmets when they got the soft spots and stuff. They got one of them. Them kids be really smart.
Oh shit! You ain't lied about that though, man. Oh Lord. But hey, I did do a little digging on our.
Like somebody's feelings was hurt today. Somebody's feelings was hurt, and so my bad.
Listen, they'll be all right. They might have to go to therapy, but they'll be all right. But hey, I was doing a little digging on our boy Brian Schottenheimer. So you're wondering what it's probably gonna look like. This is track record for targeting his wide receiver 1, his wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, and where everybody else gets to fall in. So the last time, I'm gonna disregard everything except for 2020. The last time that you seen Brian Schottenheimer, wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 damn near had the same amount of targets. Wide receiver 3, steep drop off. They got a couple of them. And then if you weren't wide receiver 1, 2, or 3, you might as well, get ready to go get some Gatorade for them boys. You're not really gonna get targeted like that. So in the past, right, most recently, 2020, last time he called plays, 5 years ago, wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 targets were damn near identical. Wide receiver 3, they got some leftovers, and everybody else starved. So honestly, if the same trend persists, right? If the same trend persists for what Brian Schottenheimer was doing, wide receiver 4 in them is damn near expendable. So let's say Jalen Tolbert don't win wide receiver 3 and it go to Mingo or it go to Turpin. There is no way in hell he's going to get the numbers to get a contract extension in Dallas, right? Same thing for Jonathan Mingo. If he don't win wide receiver 3 based on the way that Shotty called things in the past, there's no way in hell that the Dallas Cowboys would think that they got their return on investment for that 4th round pick.
Well, I mean, technically you did, man. I mean, you drafted 4th. I mean, this is the thing. If you weren't, if you was only drafting him to be a 3rd or 4th receiver at best, then you did. If you was only drafting him to be a 3rd, you only the way that you don't know if you got return on your investment is if you got to know what were their intentions on when they drafted him. You know what I'm saying? And if you got 4-year good solid years out of Jalen Tolbert, I think you did get your return on your investment because I don't think he's going to be anything bigger than what he is today. And I don't think the Cowboys thought he would probably mature into a number 1 receiver. I mean, and I'm going to be honest with you. I only re-signed 1st or 2nd guys. Like, I'm sorry. Like for my 1st corner, my 1st receiver, my 2nd receiver, they're getting extended. My 3rd receiver, bro, them dudes is going to be, you're going to have to fight for your life. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be extending nothing that's a 3rd on it. You know what I'm saying? You the 3rd string quarterback. You're not getting contact extension. Your ass is getting released, and I'm gonna go get a young dude to go fight for a 2nd position. You know what I'm saying? So, your 3rd, that's how I feel about 3rd. So it's like, all them dudes, to keep it real, all them dudes, if they ain't made and showed me enough to be a number 2, I'm not resigning none of them dudes, bro. I can go draft a dude to be my 4th receiver, 3rd receiver, and I think when you draft a dude, the receiver in the 3rd round. Like, I think that's basically as good as your. I mean, I think the Cowboys, I think they got a return on their investment on Tolbert. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the Cowboys thought he was going to be this like number 2 receiver. I don't think they drafted him thinking that. Not out of South Alabama. Come on now, bro. Not out of no. They did not think that. I just can't believe it. They was not looking at him saying that he's gonna be our wide receiver 2 one day. No, they were not thinking that. They were thinking he's gonna be a solid Cedric Wilson. He's gonna be a Cedric Wilson replacement. And then guess what?
If that's the case, you don't spend a top 100 pick on that though, Wes.
Yeah, but you got to think like this. The Cowboys believe so strongly in drafting the best player available, so I think he was the best player available. You know what I mean? If your draft board and your strategy is always pick the best player available, then you stuck to it. So it's like, I think
I'm gonna have to double check that. I really need to see who else got drafted around the time that Jalen Tolbert.
Well, I mean, hindsight is 20/20, but I'm just saying at that point, if he was their highest per graded person on their board, then you take him. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that the Cowboys. I don't feel like the Cowboys. Like, I would think Michael Gallup had bigger plays, but Michael Gallup shouldn't have got paid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Michael Gallup shouldn't have got paid in Dallas.
I mean, in the context of him being injured and you chose him over Amari Cooper, hell no, he shouldn't have got paid.
Man, Michael Gallup was an average receiver. People don't want to say it, bro. It was average from Colorado. Michael Gallup was an average receiver from Colorado.
Colorado State. He didn't even play.
Even worse. They're freaking green and off gold. Uniforms look horrible.
I think Michael Gallup had 2 good years, but he was hurt. He was hurt all 2021. Like, a dude coming off of an injury is not somebody that you pay, man. Especially when you have a CeeDee Lamb already and you just gave that contract to Amari Cooper. It didn't make any realistic sense to sign Michael Gallup after that.
Should have traded him.
Yeah, you could have traded him. And probably wouldn't have got much because you come off injury, but you still could have got something back.
No, you should have traded him before he got injured. You should have traded him. I think it was what was the year I start pissing everybody off when I said you should have traded him year 2. I said they should have traded him. 3 players that the Cowboys should have traded that they never traded, that they will look back on and say, damn, we should have traded. They should have traded Michael Gallup, They should have traded Dorrance Armstrong, and they should have traded Deron Bland. Those are the 3 players that they should have traded. But now all their value is diminished. Like the cool thing about there's much as we like Deron Bland, shoot, his value is diminished like a mug because of the injury. Then the NFL gave the defensive player of the year to a whole. That mess was crazy.
They wrong for that shit, honestly.
That man, they were super wrong for that.
Because listen, this man set an all-time NFL record, not a Dallas Cowboy. He set an NFL record for return touchdowns. He scored more touchdowns than some wide receivers, and they weren't trying to give this man. That shit was that was messed up, bro. It was messed up. And listen,
like, yeah, if you go look at Bland's year and then go look at Surtain's year, bro, they're like night and day, bro. It's like it's literally like night and day.
The numbers that actually befit a corner getting defensive player of the year. He said, "What the hell is the Gulag? Y'all never played Call of Duty? You know that when all the folks that died got to go fight it out to get back on the battlefield." Like hell, like real shit. That's what the wide receiver room is right now. It's the Gulag. It's the Gulag. All these guys are fighting for a spot to survive. Like they want to stay alive and get back on in their field. So they got to go through that battle right now. Like there's 2 wide receivers for a fact that got their positions etched in stone. It's CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Everybody else, there are either questions about how much they're gonna play, where they're gonna play, if they're gonna make the team.
Yeah, man. But I mean, hey, that's how it's supposed to be. You want to, when you're going into camp, you want to create the most competitive roster that you're able to. So I mean, guys, if that's the case, the Cowboys, I think they've done a good job of doing that.
Great job, honestly. Like especially in hindsight, when you talk about what we were thinking about this room before the trade and what we think about it after, like dog, like this is something. Even with George Pickens, I know that he's gonna be on the team. He in a 1-year deal. Like he gonna go out that mug trying to kill folks, get that bag. So I like that everybody got something to play for. I like that everybody got something to prove. I like that everybody is a little jaded coming into this season in the wide receiver room. I'm down with that. Like you ain't lying about that one bit. It's always good to have competition, and we created it by hook or crook. We created some good competition at the wide receiver spot. It said those touchdowns Topper had last season gives him a leg up though. Maybe not. It's gonna be dependent on what he actually does this offseason. Like I am a firm believer in updating your resume. What you did last year has no bearing on what we do this year.
Well, the year before last. If you sucked last year, there's a strong chance that it's gonna suck this year. Like, yeah, I mean, there's only you gotta remember there's only 5 months in between the seasons, so it's like if you was ass in 2024, you probably gonna be, you're gonna be a little bit above ass this time. You know what I mean? Like, but if you good, but the cool thing about it is if you good, you can be great the next year because there's only 5 months. You know what I'm saying? There's really not. I mean, the thing that sucks about the NFL is the seasons roll on so quickly that it's like if you don't got it, man, you don't have it, man. Like because it's so many guys that got it. You know what I'm saying? And then in 5-6 months, there's not enough time for you. There's really not enough time for you to just get ridiculously better the next year. You know what I'm saying? There's not. That's why most players that end up being really good in the NFL are either first round picks or guys who got under scouted. You know what I'm saying? Like a guy like Dak Prescott, who they said should be a tight end. That was weird.
Yeah, they were wrong for that. But he said, "Yep, sorry, Cooper and Brooks." Yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and give my prediction. I'm gonna give my prediction on who will win wide receiver 3. And I'll give my prediction for who will win the final roster spot. All right. And it's way too early prediction because shit changes. Shit changes. Folks be wrong. These just educated guesses any damn way. But I believe right now the person that will win wide receiver 3 going into camp.
You make the cookies.
This is strange, but I think I am gonna say Cavante Turpin, because if you follow the money, versatility, some of the things that Shotty like to do in gaining chunk plays, it might really be Turp. Person that makes the final roster spot, I'm going to say it's going to be Trayshawn Holden. So I got Cavante Turpin surprising a lot of people and winning the wide receiver 3 spot. And then I got Trayshawn Holden getting the final roster spot, coming out of the Gulag as wide receiver 6 and holding the roster spot down. What about you, Wes?
Say that one more time.
Oh, I said I was making my predictions for who wins wide receiver 3 and wide receiver
Oh, I say Cavante Turpin.
You say Turp as well? All right.
Yeah.
So Turp and Holden is. I said Turp and Holden. Who you think get the final roster spot? You think Holden, or you think they rock with Ryan Flournoy?
I would say, dang, Flournoy, because they know him. He played sometime last year too.
Yeah, I think he got some snaps.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah. And Cowboys usually are like they really believe in that next man up mentality. So it's like, if you put your dues in, they're going to give you your opportunity, like Noah Brown. You know what I'm saying? They're going to give you an opportunity.
Yeah, they give folks opportunities. But it's been an hour, dog. We finna wrap it up. I finna go feed this worrisome ass dog so he can stop barking. And then, we'll probably do something later on. What's the schedule looking like, Wes?
Shoot them with it.
Shit, all right. Well, here, I'll build us something. I'll shoot you the link later on, and we'll rock out. But, hey, everybody, I appreciate y'all for taking time out y'all morning to come and rock with us and show us some love, man. On the way out, hit my boy Cash App, hit my Cash App, show some support. Help keep the lights on in the liquor store and over there on the West Coast. And, hit those super chats up, man. We appreciate you. So, like, share, super chat, super sticker, Cash App, show some love. And, hey, Wes, what you be saying on the way out, brother?
Never look down because the stars up. Peace.
Peace.